Hello there guys and welcome back to 100% Chelsea. Former preview of the Chelsea versus Newcastle game, with the game kicking off at 12:30 lunchtime tomorrow afternoon at Stamford Bridge. Don't just say lunchtime and then afternoon. Not sure if that makes any sense. Anyway, getting straight into the preview, starting off with their opposition Newcastle, who currently sit in 12th on 15 points from 14 games. They haven't had great results recently. 9 of their 15 points they gained when they won 3 games in a row at the end of August and the beginning of September. But since then, they've only won 1 game, lost 5 and drawn 3. Although one of them draws, to be fair, was a 1-1 against Liverpool, so that's obviously a good result for Newcastle. And in midweek, they came from 2-0 down to get a 2-2 draw away at West Brom. So, you know, that's not the worst result if you think about it. Being 2-0 down and getting the draw is never horrible. So they kind of go up and down in performances and results. But especially when you talk to Newcastle fans and, you know, you see their highlights or whatever, they don't seem to be playing incredibly well, like most of the time anyway. And also they've had to concede some fairly heavy defeats recently, losing 4-1 to Man United, although they were actually the better team the first half, and they went into half time I think 2-1 down, and they should probably have been at least level, if not a goal up. But obviously in the second half that all crumbled, and then the week after that they lost 3-0 at home against Watford. And no matter how badly Newcastle are doing, you very, very rarely see them get smashed 3-0 at home. That's just not a Newcastle thing to do. They've scored 13 goals, which isn't terrible, but not great either. But they have a lot of players that have scored 1 or 2 goals, but no one that has scored more than 2. So on the one hand, you could say, you know, they get goals from all over the pitch. On the other hand, you can obviously say that none of their players is particularly dangerous by themselves. Newcastle usually sets up with a standard 4-4-2, but in midweek against West Brom, they actually started with a 4-2-3-1. So let's see if Rafa Benitez will adapt their formation to ours or not. That's really it about Newcastle, but now talking about Antonio Conte's press conference. So if you didn't know, Antonio Conte was charged for misconduct following being sent to the stands against Swansea, and he did receive an £8,000 fine, but there was no touchline ban given against him. And Conte was obviously asked about this in a press conference, and Conte said he will not challenge the decision because he thinks there's no point. He will just pay the £8,000 fine, which in my opinion, considering he apologised to the 4th official and the referee, both in person and via the media post-game, in the post-game interview and the post-game press conference, and he admitted that he was in the wrong, I think it is a bit silly and harsh to fine him. But it's no touchline ban, and 8 grand isn't exactly going to make Conte poor, is it? But still, he didn't swear, you know, at least that's what he keeps saying, and that's what the reports are saying. He didn't use a swear word, and he was just very persistent about Swansea wasting time. And, you know, apparently the 4th official and the referee got annoyed with it, and that's why they sent him to the stands. But I think that's, you know, why do you need to fine him for that? But like I said, you know, it's not going to make him poor. It's not a touchline ban, so I think we can all live fine with that. Then Conte gave us some team news, and he did say David Luiz and Charlie Musonda are still unavailable with knee problems, but both Michy Batshuayi and Kennedy are back in full training, but they've only just rejoined in full training. I'm not sure if Michy will be able to do more than be on the bench, but obviously we'll have to wait and see. Then Conte went on to confirming that Luiz is getting treatment for his knee injury, obviously, but he didn't put a time frame on the return of the player. Then there was some talking about Conte's relationship with Benitez because the journalist apparently thought they had issues when Conte was Juventus manager and Benitez was Napoli manager. Conte said that's not true. And then obviously he went on to speaking about the Chelsea fans' opinion on Rafa. And let's just not talk about Benitez too much if we don't have to. Like, let's be honest. He did well winning the Europa League, but, you know, he said some things he really shouldn't have said when he was at Liverpool. So, you know, we're just not going to like the guy, are we? Let's be honest. And then the last mentionable thing that was said in the press conference is that Conte said it is right to believe that we can catch Manchester City, and it is important to have that mentality. And finally, he's saying something like that. Like, over the last few weeks, he just kept saying what a great job Manchester City were doing both on the pitch and in the transfer market, which we all know. Like, we all know they spent a lot of money and got good players and have incredible squad depth, which we don't have. And we all know that they've won 12 games in a row now, only drawing 1 game so far this season. But I don't need my manager telling me about it. Like, it's depressing enough as it is. But yeah, that was it from the press conference. Now speaking about Chelsea and how I think we will line up. And well, we did obviously rest 3 players that have been regular starters recently against Swansea. In obviously Eden Hazard, Zizas Azpilicueta and also Bakayoko, who has been playing most of the games for a while. I'm almost certain that Hazard and Azpilicueta will start tomorrow. I'm not sure about Bakayoko. We'll have to wait and see about that one. And the rest of the team though is quite difficult to predict, I think. I don't think Batshuayi is quite fit enough yet to start the game, but if he is, I'm pretty sure Conte will start him to give Morata a rest, as he has started most of the games recently, or at least came on as a sub for over 20 minutes usually, like against Karabakh for example. And I think it's also time that we give N'Golo Kante a rest. Like, I'm pretty sure he has started every game since he returned from injury. I might be wrong, but I think so. I would have preferred him to get a rest against Swansea, as they're currently, you know, doing worse than Newcastle are, and just not as threatening, which was clearly shown by them not having a single shot on target against us. And yes, I know it might be a risk to rest Kante, but I think it's even more of a risk to have him miss multiple games if he picks up another injury. Like, we know how that went last time round, so like we can't afford that. So I think we have to rest Conte somehow. And also, Alonso just needs a bloody rest. I know we don't really have another left wing back. Kennedy played there in the cup, Azpilicueta has played there, and Zappacosta can play there. But in my opinion, Conte just has to find a way to rest Alonso. Like, we just have to. He can't play every game until January 3rd when we play against Arsenal, when we get a tiny break, and then maybe we can sign a left wing back early on in the transfer window, hopefully. But, you know, he can't play all of those games. The wing-back spot is one of the most demanding positions on the football pitch physically because you do so much running and sprinting as well. So, again, like last time, I will give you two lineups, basically. The lineup I would go with and the lineup I think Antonio Conte will go with. So, my lineup would be Thibaut Courtois in goals, Cesar Azpilicueta, Andreas Christensen and Antonio Rudiger as the three centre-backs. I would play Rudiger to give Cahill a rest. I mean, he didn't start against Karabakh, but he also came on in that and started almost every other game. So, you know, I don't think it would do him too badly, especially with Atletico coming up in midweek, obviously. And I'm going to hope for the same thing that I wish to happen against Swansea. Moses as the right wing back, like he came on against Swansea. Surely he's fit to start now. And Zappacosta as the left wing back. Like Zappacosta doesn't seem to be able to play good crosses anyway, you know, even on his strong right foot. So I'm sure he wouldn't perform much differently on the left. I'm not 100% sure whether I'm going to go with a 3-5-2 or 3-4-3. You will obviously see on the screen by now because it's already on the screen. But to be honest, if I want to give Conte a rest, I can't go with only two central midfielders, so a 3-4-3. So I kind of have to go 3-5-2 with probably Drinkwater, Bakayoko and Fabregas. You know, if I want to rest Conte, and I do. And then even if Batshuayi isn't fit, Morata hasn't done so well recently anyway. So I'd go with Hazard and Willian as the front two. No real out-and-out striker. But I think Morata needs a rest. The last time we played too many games in a row, he picked up that hamstring injury against Man City. So we don't want to risk that again. And like I said, you know, he has missed a fair few big chances recently, not scored since we played against Man United, didn't he? So yeah, like I said, I would go with Hazard and Willian as the front two. I wouldn't mind Pedro either, but I think Willian has performed better recently, also against Swansea. So yeah, that would be the lineup I would go with, but now coming to the lineup that I think is more likely that Antonio Conte will pick. And I think he could do something similar to what we did against Karabakh and not play an out-and-out striker. Obviously, I'm not doing that either, but I think more of a 3-4-3. I think that's kind of what he's going to go for. And not rest Conte. I think Conte might go Thibaut Courtois in goal, Azpilicueta, Christensen and Cahill as the three centre-backs, Moses is the right wing-back and not giving Alonso a rest as the left wing-back, then N'Golo Kante next to says Fabregas in the midfield two, and then Pedro, Willian and Hazard as the, you know, interchanging front three, with Hazard kind of being the most central of the lot usually. Maybe he won't play Fabregas again because obviously he started against Swansea, but Fabregas only played 50 minutes against Liverpool last weekend, so he should be fine to play tomorrow, I suppose. Then obviously, would he then be fine to play against Atletico midweek? I don't know. That's obviously a decision that Conte is going to have to make. That is the line that I think Conte could go with, but again, you know, like against Swansea, could be completely wrong, could be, you know, spot on. Who knows? Now, Newcastle have conceded a fair few goals recently, and especially against United away, rather than sitting back, they actually went at them, which especially in the first half worked quite well for them, let's be honest, because like I said, they were a better team. But that obviously leaves spaces at the back and in behind, which we can then exploit. So either they sit back and we have to try and unlock their defence, or they will come at us and we have to be solid at the back and just hit them on the counter with our quick and, you know, good players. Until they realise that going at us isn't smart, and then they'll eventually sit back. Hopefully by then we'll be 1 or 2 goals up already, and then, you know, just easy game. So no matter what Newcastle, what strategy they are going to come up with, just don't concede and we're going to be fine, because I'm pretty confident that we can get a couple of goals past them. I am confident that we will win the game. We have been good at the back recently as well, so like against Swansea, I predict a 2-0 win. Let's hope we're a bit more clinical than we were in that game. It could also end up maybe in a 3-0 or a 3-1 or a 2-1, of course, because to be fair, I mean, they did score against Man United, who have conceded the least amount of goals in the league so far. So, you know, they can score goals against bigger teams as well. You have to be confident playing against Newcastle at home. And, you know, we've been good at the back recently. Not scoring all too many goals, but at least scoring in most games. And all of them recently. So, yeah, you know, like I said, 2-0 is my prediction. But that is it from me. Leave me your thoughts down in the comment section below. What is your predicted lineup? What is your score prediction? Leave it all down in the comment section below. Leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Don't forget to check out my social media, Labs1507 on both Instagram and Twitter. As you can see over here, I'd massively appreciate it if you could follow me there. Now I'm off to watching the World Cup draw, which I'm very excited about. Obviously, by the time this is out, it's probably just on right now, or already finished. But yeah, I'm buzzing for that. I'm going to edit, obviously, while I watch that. But don't forget to subscribe to 100% Chelsea. Just click that button up there and you can subscribe if you haven't already. We massively do appreciate that and are grateful for any new subscribers. Thank you guys for watching. Up to Chelsea, and I'll see you next time.